Welcome to Mr. Nussbaum Extend. I'm making this video today to teach you how to use my newest program of Geography Central, which becomes the 10th program on Mr. Nussbaum Extend. Interestingly enough, you can have Geography Central for merely $6 a year, which covers you and 100 students. So it's quite a bargain. We have a lot more programs coming out in the next month or two, including Spelling Central, and we're going to do the Amazing Number Chart, and we're going to do some Common Core programs that I think are going to be quite awesome. Anyway, today I'm going to show you how to use Geography Central, which is a program that includes 15 or so really useful geography games that will help your students develop cultural literacy, knowledge of the United States and its 50 states, continents, countries, latitude, longitude, landforms, and much more. So click on Geography Central, the icon, and the Geography Central app works exactly like every other app on Mr. Nussbaum Extend. You simply go to the To Deploy menu right here. These are all of the activities that you can deploy here on the left side. And what you'll do, and I have to wait, of course, till my little spinner stops, is you're going to drag the ones you want to the To Be Deployed window, and then you're going to deploy them to either an entire class or individual students. As I'm making this video, this program is not totally complete, but by the time you can buy it, it will be completely done. So for me, all I have to do is click on, for example, for Conquer the States, which is a great game that will help reinforce knowledge of the locations of the 50 states. I can click on this little button, and it'll tell me a little bit about the game, and there'll be a video that pops up in this window also, so you can watch the video as well. So say I want that one, so I'd simply click and drag it to be deployed. Now I'll do that with all of any of the games I want, and of course with most of the programs on Mr. Nussbaum Extend, you can view the record book to see how your students are, see how long they're on each activity, the score they get on each activity, and how that score compares to other kids their age and other kids in their class. And you can also see their grade level equivalency statistic and whether or not they've mastered this particular skill. So again, I drag Conquer the States over. I can check out as many of these as I want. I'll go over each of these games when I log in as a student. Anyway, if you've used Mr. Nussbaum Extend before, you know exactly how to deploy. If I want to deploy to individual students, this is my Nussbaum 1 class. I simply find the students I want, click the check box, or I can just deploy to all of my students in Nussbaum 1, all of my students in Nussbaum 1. So I can do it to individual students, I can do it to whole classes, or I can do it to multiple whole classes or multiple individual students in different classes. When I decide when I figure out whoever I want to deploy this to, I simply click Deploy Now. If this is the first program you bought from Mr. Nussbaum Extend, you first should probably add classes and students, and you do that by going to the Add Edit Students link, and it's very simple. It should take a matter of seconds to add students and classes. But I want to show you some of the individual games on Geography Central. You can deploy them individually, but I want to show you a little bit about what each of them does. So I'm going to log out and log in as my test student so you can see what your student sees. And we'll play one of these. I'll show you, I think, my favorite one. Okay. So this is my test student, happens to be my 2-year-old son. And so I click on Geography Central, and you'll see I've deployed all of the possible games. In fact, there are 14. This one right here is not showing the icon right now, but don't worry, when you buy Geography Central, the icon will show. So Conquer the States, I've already talked about. The State Detective is a really fun game. It's better for older students who at least have a working knowledge of the United States. Probably my favorite game here. It's a game where the computer secretly chooses a state, and the student has to figure out what state it is by asking questions. about the color of the chosen state or about the relative location of the state compared to other states. This is the one I'll demonstrate. So International Pizza Delivery is the one without an icon right now. This is a great game in which students practice latitude and longitude. They play the role of an international pizza delivery man who has a special vehicle that can travel the continents and seas very quickly. And he delivers pizzas to specific coordinates that the student has to travel to using their knowledge of latitude and longitude. And the idea is to deliver as many pizzas as possible. I think it's in 3 minutes. And for every location they deliver a pizza to, they earn a flag. And so the idea is to get as many world flags as they can. And the flags are the actual flags of the nations. And they get to print it out at the end. Very fun. Kids love this. You can actually, if you buy the tournaments program on Mr. Nussbaum Extend, you can have a classroom tournament in International Pizza Delivery, conquer the states, and soon enough, most of these programs. Continents and Oceans is a great game to reinforce, this is better for younger kids, the different continents and the different oceans. Conquer the Continents is similar to Conquer the States. Students have a minute to identify as many nations as possible. The names will appear at the top of the screen, and then students have to click on the corresponding place on the map. So we have Conquer the Continents for North America, for Africa, Europe, South America, and Asia. USA Landform Central is a fun game that reinforces the most important United States landforms like the Mississippi River, the Rocky Mountains, the Appalachians, basically mountain ranges and rivers. Really cool game in which they actually have to drag and drop these famous landforms to their correct location on the map. Cardinal Directions is a great game that can be played by younger kids or older kids. It tests how well students understand north, south, east, west, or northwest, southeast, southwest, southeast, or even left and right. You can change the difficulty level here to include, commands appropriate for younger kids or directions for older kids. Finally, Where in the USA is Mr. Nussbaum is a very fun game that students can practice famous places in America. It's similar to Conquer the States and Conquer the Continents. They can practice state capitals or they can practice famous United States cities. In the game, Mr. Nussbaum, me, will pop up in various places and there'll be a message like, for example, Mr. Nussbaum is in Mount Rushmore. What state am I in? And then the student would have to click on South Dakota. Some of them are pretty challenging. You might get things like where is, let's say, I don't know, Great Basin National Park, for example, and the student would have to click on Nevada. But this is a really fun way to increase cultural literacy. United States landforms, important place in the United States. This game should really help get your students to know the United States in detail. Let me show you one of these games called State Detective. All of these games are on the Mr. Nussbaum site, but of course on Extend you can do an awful lot more with them. So watch me play this. So I'm going to click Start. And again, this is possibly my favorite of the geography games. So I have 6 questions. So the computer is thinking of a state. Now I have to figure out what it is. So you see there's 6 different colors. But my first question is going to be to try to eliminate states. Is the state east of, I'm going to say Missouri. And then I have to click Ask Question. Be careful not to click Ask Question here. So I click Ask Question. And it is east of Missouri. So I've eliminated all of these states. So now I know the computer's thinking of a state here. So let's do a north-south question. Let's ask if it's north of, I think Kentucky's a good one. It is north of Kentucky. So let's do another east. Is it north of, this is a great problem-solving game. And kids really will be interested in this, particularly those who know the United States. So is it north of Pennsylvania? No, it's not. So I've narrowed it down here. I think I'm going to do one more directions question. Let's say, let's go and see, is it east? I'm actually going to go, is it east of West Virginia? No. So perfect. So now I've asked good enough questions. I've narrowed it down to 5. So let's see. Let's see. Is it green? No. So essentially now I have a 1 in 3 chance. So my questions were good, but perhaps not good enough. So I have to take a guess here. I'm going to guess, let's guess Ohio. And I guessed the right state. What do you know? And that's how you play state detective. Anyway, so this is, since I got it with no questions left, my score is 1. Anyhow, I've had a student in high score 6 guess the exact state right before. Anyway, so this is the Geography Central program. $6 a year. I think your kids will really like it.